Welcome to Rise and Lead, the Ascend podcast series, where we explore what it truly means to live with purpose, achieve personal excellence, and find balance in the pursuit of success. I'm Chad Bucato, and if you've ever felt like you're stuck on autopilot, waking up, working, going home, and repeating the cycle, you're not alone. Many of us experience this sense of disconnection, but the good news is there's a way out. Today, we're diving into a concept straight out of my book, Ascend, Path to Personal Excellence, the power of balance. Life isn't about choosing between success and fulfillment. It's about learning how to integrate both of those concepts. When you strike the right balance between maintenance, attainment, and purpose, you create the foundation for lasting contentment. We'll explore why balance is more than just a buzzword. It's a dynamic practice that evolves as you grow. Just like your body maintains homeostasis to function properly, your mind and life need equilibrium to truly thrive. In this episode, we'll break down some key strategies to help you regain control, realign your priorities, and create a life that feels both fulfilling and sustainable. So if you're ready to rise above the daily grind and lead with intention, let's get started. So I ask, have you ever felt like your life is on autopilot? You wake up each day, you go to work, you go back home, and then you do it all over again repeatedly. If something feels missing, you're not alone. Many of us experience this sense of disconnection at some point, often without fully understanding why. Fortunately, there's a way to break free from that cycle and rediscover a sense of meaning, fulfillment, and genuine contentment. The key lies in attending to three critical elements. It's maintenance, attainment, and purpose. So maintenance, those things that we keep in our lives to make our lives more fulfilling. Attainment, those things we're trying to strive to achieve. And purpose, the reason why we do the maintenance and or attainment. You can think of these as factors in an equation, each one multiplying the others to produce the ultimate goal, contentment, i.e. a good life. But there's a precursor to making that equation truly meaningful, an essential investment that sets the stage for lasting success. Now, when I do this talk, I'll often ask people, what is most important? What is something that everyone lives for? And I'll get lots of answers, and probably there are many that you can predict. Family, friends, money, career, alcohol. Wait, alcohol? That's probably not right. So we'll get all this whole plethora of ideas, and then I'll ask again, I'll say, but it's something that everyone lives for. And then we'll get some more of the same ideas, and I'll say, listen to what I'm saying. Something, S, that everyone, E, lives, L, for, F, self. All of those things that people mention are all correct and they're all valid. Family and friends, money, not sure about the alcohol. But as you look at those things, we first have to have a centering or a ground point, and that's ourself. Right? Now, this isn't about ignoring others or becoming self-absorbed. On the contrary, it's about establishing a strong internal foundation so that any external success you achieve feels authentic and rewarding. When you invest in yourself, you create conditions that help you maintain a healthy sense of balance, a key ingredient to thriving both personally and professionally. Now, developing what makes you unique involves analyzing the areas of your life that you need to maintain and seeking to attain aspects in life that will make your life more fulfilling. More importantly, what will matter most is specific to you. While the book that I wrote will provide you the template, you make the experience uniquely your own by adding in the elements that you want and you need to have fulfillment in your life. One key aspect of aspiring to lead a life of contentment is to find and preserve balance. This is a process that will fluctuate throughout your life as circumstances evolve. For example, you work for a certain number of years and then you retire. How you have a balanced and successful life depends upon how you see retirement. The saying that the only constant thing is change has lasted many years because, well, it's true. Part of building and improving your self-worth and effectiveness will require you to constantly strive to strike a balance in your life. Now, balance is an essential aspect of living a healthy, fulfilled life. In the simplest form, all things in your life are balanced for what you need to maintain, weighed against the things you are doing to attain new elements in your life. There is another layer of balancing by ensuring that everything that you are doing has a purpose that is in harmony with what you want to preserve and achieve. So the idea of balance is summarized as the word balance, right? We create a mnemonic, believing absolutely that life always needs centering and equilibrium. Believing absolutely that life always needs centering and equilibrium. So let's think about the nature of balance, right? We often hear about work-life balance, and as if that's a single line drawn between two opposing forces, your career on one end and your personal life on the other. But true balance runs deeper and it's far more dynamic. Consider all the roles you might play. You might be a spouse, a parent, a friend, a professional, a mentor, learner, caretaker, volunteer, or any combination of those. Each one of those roles has its own set of demands and responsibilities and also rewards. Balance is the skill of managing those overlapping spheres without losing sight of who you are at the center. Remember, we have to preserve ourselves in order to be more effective for other people. So think of balance not as a permanent state you achieve once and then never revisit, but as a practice that you refine over time. Just like a tightrope walker, making continuous micro adjustments, living a balanced life means continually adapting to changing circumstances. New responsibilities arise, priorities shift, and what once felt stable may suddenly feel uncertain. Balance is dynamic. It evolves as you grow, face new challenges, and gain fresh perspectives. Now, we get to the why. Why does that matter? Who cares, right? When you neglect balance, you risk burnout, unhappiness, and a perpetual sense of chasing external markers of success without feeling genuinely fulfilled. Do you know anybody that runs after money and gets it and then is not happy afterwards? That's the idea. So if you overemphasize one aspect of life at the expense of others, that's going to lead to stress and emptiness. Conversely, refusing to challenge yourself can leave you feeling stagnant. Achieving balance means honoring both ambition and well-being, challenge and rest, giving and receiving. Balance also enriches the quality of your relationships. When you're grounded in who you are and clear about your priorities, you have more to give to those you care about. Rather than viewing your roles as competing forces, you begin to see how they can support one another. Personal growth can enhance your professional creativity. Nurturing your health and mindset can make you a more resilient leader or a more patient parent. By maintaining equilibrium, you discover synergy rather than conflict among the many facets of your life. So let's take an example, right? There's nature's blueprint for balance. It's a complicated word, homeostasis, but really it's just a fancy word for maintaining balance inside your life. So consider this. Your body works constantly to maintain balance throughout your entire life through this process known as homeostasis. By definition, it's the body's natural tendency to keep its internal environment stable. So there's hundreds, maybe thousands of internal processes that go on at any given moment that regulate your electrolytes, your blood sugar levels, your blood pressure, core temperature, and you don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to think about it at all. It just happens. Your heart is beating at the rate it wants to beat at. You're breathing at the rate you want to breathe at, and so on, right? If your body can maintain this equilibrium automatically, well, certainly your mind can strive for a similar stability through conscious thought and action. In other words, bringing those facets of life into balance, just like our body brings itself into balance. So while these bodily processes occur effortlessly and unseen, living your best life requires deliberate participation. We must be intentional about our thoughts and actions to shape a balanced existence. Later, we'll discuss strategies for doing just that. For now, recognize that balance, just like homeostasis, is both a natural principle and a deliberate practice, something you can cultivate to keep your life aligned with your values and your aspirations. So there's some practical strategies, right? How can I import this into my life and make it meaningful? So we could do one, regular self-assessments. It's probably something that most people don't do because we just get on with the business of life. But every once in a while, we got to stop, check in with ourselves periodically, and ask yourself questions like, am I devoting enough time to relationships, my health, my personal growth, and other areas that are important to me? First, by recognizing balances, that's the first step towards making an adjustment, right? We got to figure out where we're at. Then you can set some boundaries, right? Learn when to say no. By protecting your time and energy, you ensure that your commitments align with your priorities rather than overwhelming them. Next, an area that I think a lot of people have difficulty with, and that's time management with intention. Treat your time as the most valuable resource that you have. Rather than being pulled in every direction by external demands, allocate your hours thoughtfully. Give some time to family, exercise, reading, reflection, or skill building. Next, we want to align our core values. If you're not sure where to focus, consider what you value most. Is freedom important to you? Is health, knowledge, community, contribution? Whatever those are, let those values guide your decision. And then last, we can embrace imperfection. Balance is not about being perfect. There are seasons when certain areas require more attention. The goal is an overall rhythm that's going to feel both productive and nurturing, not a flawless distribution of time and energy. That's not attainable. So those 5 things that we can practice tomorrow, right? Regular self-assessment, set some boundaries, time management and be intentional about it, align your actions with your core values, and lastly, embrace imperfection. We can also learn from experience, right? So Matthew McConaughey wrote the book Green Lights. He once yearned for a Corvette. He saw it as this great symbol of success, but when he finally had it, the car brought isolation rather than connection and chipping away at his, mojo. Without a solid internal core, external success, no matter how impressive, it's going to feel empty. It's just a car. If McConaughey had maintained focus on what truly fueled his happiness and purpose, which he shares very well in his book, the Corvette might have complemented his life instead of detracting from it. But I think we can all learn from that lesson. He's a very successful person, right? Why can't we take some thoughts from that and say, okay, well, how could I import that into my life? So now beyond your personal life, the broader impact of balance, it's not just personal. It's a principle that forward-thinking organizations can also embrace. Companies know that relentless pressure without regard for employee well-being, that's going to lead to burnout and turnover. So if we offer meaningful benefits, acknowledging accomplishments, and respecting time off, we can create an environment where performance can be sustained over the long term. The same logic applies to your own life. When you invest in your internal equilibrium, every external role and responsibility that you have is going to benefit from it. Next, let's take a fairly simple concept. We call it priming the mind for success, like getting the mind ready. Just like you might warm up before you played a round of golf or you went to go exercise. This is the same kind of thought process. So intentionality is essential, being intentional. Before you set out on any journey, improving health, nurturing relationships, or advancing your career, prime your mind with clear objectives. Think of this as another way of sustaining balance. Your goals, values, and resources should harmonize rather than pull you in conflicting directions. For example, if you commit to walking 1 mile daily to improve your health, that clearly defined goal is going to help you ensure it doesn't vanish into a sea of distractions. Instead, it becomes a structured element of your daily routine, supporting your overall sense of equilibrium. You're giving to yourself, you're getting outdoors, you're doing lots of things that are going to make your life better. So the process is cyclic, and it's not complicated. We start off with a thought, right? Well, I think I should be healthier. Then we take the action. Okay, I go for a walk every single day. Then I look at the outcome. Maybe after 30 days or 60 days, I see if I'm healthier. And then we do any revision that needs to happen. Maybe I wasn't walking enough. Maybe I need to walk 2 miles. Maybe I need to jog a little. Maybe I need to add in some weight training. But the idea is pretty straightforward. We have the thought that starts us, right? Think of the sculptor that's going to make a beautiful sculpture and starts with a big hunk of marble. It's just a giant rock. Then that sculptor then takes action by using the tools, like a chisel, for example, and then looks to the outcome, which is the actual sculpture. Then maybe make some revisions, refinements, until we have this beautiful thing that you and I get to look at. So from the vision that the sculptor had, you and I can then go and enjoy things. The same thing can happen with your life. Think about what you want to accomplish. Take action, immediate action. Look at what happened when you took that action, and then make revisions as you need to. That is a good process to implement when you're thinking about these concepts. So that's it for today's podcast. We went over quite a bit of material, but I think the most important concept is balance. We need to find a way of improving the balance in our life. It can't be as simple as, well, I'm going to do work-life balance. If you want to have a really effective life and you want to be an effective person, we've got to go deeper than that. Well, that's it for today's episode of Rise and Lead, the Ascend podcast. I hope this conversation helped you see balance in a new light, not as a rigid formula, but as a dynamic practice that evolves with you. Remember, achieving personal excellence isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about aligning your goals, values, and daily actions so that you're not just chasing success, but living with purpose. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share this episode with someone who could use a reminder to refocus, recalibrate, and rise to their full potential. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes where we dive deeper into personal growth, leadership, and strategies for creating a fulfilling life. Until next time, keep rising, keep leading, and most importantly, keep investing in you.